Education. Education in Australia has come a long way, particularly education in general. 300 years ago, or many hundred years ago, people did not have access to education. It was not readily available, and it was not taken for granted because it didn't really exist, and there wasn't a need or necessity. Only it was only really available to the wealthy, and wealthy people tended to hire tutors for private tuition. So it's sort of a luxury, but not really a necessity in those days. As time went on, that started to change. I mean, it was not necessary for people to obtain a tertiary degree or tertiary qualification. For some professions it was, but it wasn't until later on until education really caught on with the masses. 1800s, 1860s, and much later in Australia, even post World War II. I mean, as countries became more industrialized, there was more of a need for people to have access to education, mass education as we know it today. And yes, also in addition to this, different things which occurred in Europe, democratic revolutions, and also Martin Luther creating a common language, some religious influence there, being a Protestant, creating a common German language for people to use. And the democratic revolution required countries to have access to education. As countries became more developed, they needed education. And all in addition to this, this has created a very mass education has become very, very common. And in addition, TV, radio, and then internet has definitely enhanced this process. In Australia, a multicultural and westernized and developed country, things can only progress and improve. However, education is subject to political change as governments are always changing all the time, so that is one downside. But definitely, there's a lot to happen in the future.